Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Headspace Podcast. I am your host, Chris Chrome. This is episode 162, and for today's review, we are doing Joyner Lucas's new album, ADHD. Again, for the Google robots, that is Joyner Lucas's new album, ADHD. Episode 162 of the Headspace Podcast. What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well in this whole quarantine situation. I hope the self-isolation is doing you some well, and it's not the biggest of problems right now. I know people are losing their minds, and I'm greatly apologetic to everybody who's dealing with struggles and just some financial issues or anything that might be happening. I do want to start with this because it's something that's affecting all of us right now, and you know, we really just need to kind of just address it as much as we can in a very positive way. Try to find proper sources, try to find the proper information about what's really going on, guys. And, if you can help out, share links in the comment down below. Let other people who come to the community of Behind That Suit know what's really going on. Make sure everybody's being safe, wash your hands, social distancing. Try to stay at home as much as you can. I know it really sucks. I know, going outside is like one of the best things to do, but let's just try to get through all this together, okay? And with that, we can start the review. I just wanted to get that out of the way and make sure everybody's doing well. So I know I'm still going to work. I'm still running through the office and trying to do that. I should be going work from home soon in isolation, so there might be some more creativity to get done. I might be home a lot more and I can do some more other things, so that's also cool. But you're not here to hear about that. You're here to hear about my review of Joyner Lucas's new project, ADHD. You can click down in the link below. You can check in the description down below to see where I talk about the different songs and the timestamps. If you want to go check out your favorite song or something you want to discuss about that, you can leave a comment down below on that. And I'm just going to talk about a little bit what we do here for the Headspace Podcast for some of you who are new here, who haven't seen yet, or if you're clicking this for the first time. First off, what I do here is I review albums track by track. I give my opinion, my experiences, what I thought about it, how I felt, what I took away from it in certain lyrics. Kind of go through it, give you my ideas, my perception of it, and pretty much give it a grade on 5. Every song gets a number out of either whatever out of 5, and then the whole album I calculate it up and give it out of 5. Other than that, I really just want to have a conversation kind of in the comments down below. You can also hit me up on Twitter, be able to talk to me and let me know what you guys thought of the album, or if you want to talk about anything else, hey, I'm open to any other conversation. Just to be clear, this is the first time I sit down and review the album of ADHD. It literally just came out today. I been bumping it this morning, went to work, came back, bumping it again, and then I just decided to kind of get the review out and trying to get it out as soon as possible. And this will be part 1. I will be doing tracks 1 to 9. There's 18 songs on this project. It's only about an hour long on the dot, so it's not too bad. It's very digestible. It's not that heavy as an album, but I'll definitely get into that sooner or later. Before I do jump into anything, I do want to take a shout out to say thank you to the Patreons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Lindo Williams, DJ Black Hurricane, Scribble, and Jonathan Barnes. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for us. Greatly appreciate it. They follow us on Patreon. I will definitely hit it up at the end of the video, or at least on part 2 at the end of the entire video, so please check that out and make sure to either hit like, subscribe, and definitely leave comments on that if you want. I'm just trying to see if that works, if that engages you guys in any way. Also, I'm just going to talk a little bit about where I know Joyner Lucas from and my interactions with him, so that I can give you kind of the description of where I'm coming from, in the context of where I'm coming from, because a lot of the albums that we review, you guys as the viewers and the listeners probably know a lot more about the artist than I do here at Headspace, or at least we do, because HSR, or Holden, if you guys may know, also does some of the reviews sometimes as well. So we as a collective generally don't really know a lot of where these artists come from and stuff like that. So we're just really on this journey to figure out a lot about hip-hop, the culture, and kind of just what a lot of these artists can bring to the table, what they do and what they represent in their movements and what else. So that's pretty much why. And also for me, Joyner Lucas has been a name that I've been hearing about for a couple of years now. You know, he's been featured with Eminem, he's been featured with Logic, he's had some, there was like some shit that happened. I don't know if there was beef or whatnot. I think there was beef with him and Logic over like a song or something. So he is a name that has been very prevalent in the last couple of years. He's been coming up with a lot of creative songs. I find I like the song "I'm Not Racist" in the sense of just the idea he's trying to bring to the table. Maybe not exactly the song itself and how it's presented. I don't want to really get back into that controversy, but I do enjoy like just the idea and open-mindedness of Joyner Lucas, of how he tries to have certain conversations. I've seen other videos, but nothing's really ever stuck to me as much. I do also, again, review a lot of music a lot every week, and I listen to a lot of music a lot on a daily basis. So, you know, it's very rare that a lot of music or a lot of songs that I like or tend to gravitate to end up on a playlist, because there's other songs that I just prefer listening to on a general basis. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't really know much about him. I don't really know like a lot about his past life or anything like that. So if you know anything about Joyner Lucas, please let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if I butcher or misread anything on this album, please let me know. Please correct me. I love to know what's going on. Give me your side. Give me what you understand. And that's kind of just what we do here at the Headspace Podcast. We want to build a community, so please engage in that, and that would be great. One thing I do want to talk about is that I'm very interested in this album because of the fact that it is called ADHD, and I'll just kind of move into the album art and the album cover and the title of the track. First off, I have ADHD. I just want to get that out. I've been clinically diagnosed with it when I was a child. I went to 4 doctors with my parents to just make sure I really did have it. Recently, I have gone to get some help for myself and whatever, just learn more about it. I've been trying to read books and stuff, just to better understand having ADHD as an adult, and kind of just living a lot of my experiences as a kid and growing up. I look back now and really just think like what was part of the ADHD and what was just part of my life and my upbringing, and that whole idea of like nature versus nurture. So that's something that I've just been myself have been struggling my entire life with. I've had many conversations with my mother and my father about how I grew up and what what they did trying to teach me and raise me and all that stuff. So it's something that I'm very connected to in a very serious personal level way. So when Joyner Lucas dropped this album, I was very interested to seeing what he was trying to express, and I caught something somewhere where he was explaining that the kid with ADHD has finally made it, and he's really just trying to show him his expression about how he dealt with ADHD. So I feel like I may be a little bit critical on this album, just because like I'm somebody who actually has it, and I'm reviewing this album in terms of just like content and just how he does it and everything. So I may be a little biased to certain things. I may be a little critical. Just keep that in mind. Of course, if any of you out there who have ADHD as well, have a conversation with me down below. Let me know what you relate to him or whatnot. Of course, there's certain things about, I know after doing a lot of these reviews, I probably have not been from certain areas that he's from, or certain places and certain situations that he had to be in. But, in terms of just dealing with that idea of ADHD, like just the mental illness of it, and just not mental illness, but just the psychology of it and all that, like I may be a little bit very just critical in thinking of how he's presenting it. I just want to get that out of the way because, again, it is something that I'm very passionate about, because it is part of me. It's part of my Chris Chrome. It's part of just me, Christopher Johnson, myself. It's just that is who it is. So I wanted to get that out. Now, I do like the title. It's very personal. It's very self-explanatory. If you know what ADHD means, attention deficit hyper disorder, you might understand a little bit about what we're going to get from the album. For me, I expect a lot of crazy, a lot of wildness, a lot of all over the place, different types of emotions, different types of expressions from Joyner Lucas. So that's something that I think we're going to be getting, and it's very interesting. The album cover, I like how it's black and white, very simple. It's really, really cool. But I like how his face has like a photoshopped copy of like his hands in front of his face, and then his face is kind of hiding it, and like you can see it right there. And I'm bad at explaining it, but it's like he's got his face painted on his hands, and his hands are supposed to be covering his face, which is like his true self, and he's like kind of scared of his true self, but he's also kind of showing you that mask that he's hiding behind. Like, it's very symbolic, very personal, and I can understand it being, if I connect it to the idea of the ADHD, I can definitely understand where he's coming from with this, and I can kind of see what he's saying. I think that it's not like an iconic album cover. I think that, if you're somebody who really follows Joyner Lucas, you'll remember it. If you're somebody who may like follow music, it might be something that pops up a little bit, especially with like the rollout, which oh yeah, I had to explain this. So his rollout has been like, what, 6 of these tracks or like 9 of these tracks were released in the last year or so, kind of hyping up this album to get this whole project. There's like literally 13 songs on this album that there's about 14 actual songs on this album, and 9 of them were already released. There's not real much here if you've actually listened to a lot of the singles, first off. And I'm also saying this because Holden wanted to make it very clear that he thinks it's absolute bullshit and pure bullshit that Joyner Lucas did a rollout like this, and that how he's now just dropping the album like this with like no actual new music. This is literal music that has been already released, again, like I said, in the last like year. I haven't listened to it because, again, I have a very hard time of following artists like that, but if you follow hip-hop or anything, I've seen this album cover alone just absolutely everywhere. It's like, I thought it was already out at one point, which is why I was surprised that he was dropping it, and there was this whole confusion, which I think adds to the whole fact of this is pure bullshit on the rollout. If I understood correctly, the conversation that me and Holden had off mic. So that is something that I had to make clear. He really wanted me to make that clear. He also did a tweet about it, so if you want to do it, check that out. And yeah, all that babbling to say, I'm about to just jump into this project. It's already been about 13 minutes and I'm talking about absolutely nothing now. So let's just start off with a screening evaluation, the Skit, track 1. Okay, so track 1, screening evaluation, is really interesting the way that he started this project off. I like the title already of just screening evaluation, on how like you already get the sense that he's going to be personal. He's going to get into some like psychology aspect of it. We're going to learn a little bit about how he, maybe deals with the ADHD, what the kind of process is, and it feels a little bit educational. With that mindset going in mind, because of course I went through a screening process like that. I also, like I said, have gone to seeing different things. I've seen a psychiatrist, I've seen doctors and all that stuff. So I've been through the similar type of thing, which I'm going to touch upon in a very short second. So starting off this album, you got track 1, which is a basic, kind of like a conversation with a doctor that young Joyner Lucas is having. Joyner Lucas is presenting his, I guess a doctor's appointment that he's had at the age of 8 years old, where he's having a Rorschach test. I think it's the test where like you're looking at these photos of like they have like, it looks like black blobs everywhere and stuff, but they make designs and you kind of look at it for a little bit, and then they like, you kind of just say what's the first thing that comes into mind and that what you see. And I guess it's supposed to be part of, I don't really know what the test is a lot about exactly, but I know what the idea is. It's kind of supposed to see what your brain does and kind of how you see things and stuff like that. I may also be wrong. I didn't really check it up, but it sounded a lot like that's what was going on, because the doctor's asking young Joyner Lucas to look at some photos and just tell him what he sees, and kind of like also talking to him, trying to be very polite, but just to be clear, dude, the doctor being polite already sounds like a fucking creep. It starts off, "Listen, Joyner, what's up?" No, this is the wrong hole. This is the completely wrong thing. Hold on, give me a second. I apologize. So it starts off with, "So listen, buddy, I'm going to give you a little test, okay? Okay? Is that okay, buddy?" Like, just the way he says buddy gives me the fucking shivers, and it's creepy. Absolutely creepy. This test is called the Roshire test. Yeah, exactly. So the Roshire test is a psychological test used for identifying mental illness. The test is considered of 10 is consisted of 10 ink blot cards that the participant is asked to say what he sees in them. So that's exactly what I was trying to explain. Thank you, genius. Thank you. I doesn't have a name here. It's just a genius annotation of what it was. Cool. So thank you for that explanation of what that is. So that's where I'm already kind of seeing, like, I've been through that. I know what he's kind of going through. So it's very relatable for me, at least, and I like that. Now, he starts asking him the doctor starts asking Joyner some questions, and he kind of asks him, like, oh, you're only 8 years old. That's correct. Joyner's like, yeah. He goes, wow, you're such a big boy. And even just the way he says that, it's fucking creepy. Okay, so now I'm going to hold up some pictures. You're going to tell me what you see in the pictures, okay? Joyner's like, okay. Let's start with this one. And he's like, what do you see in the picture, buddy? And it's, again, cringy. And then you hear Joyner Lucas as an 8-year-old just kind of being really happy, like he's getting it right. So it's like a butterfly, and the doctor's like, you got that correct. Absolutely correct. What a smart boy you are. It is a butterfly. What about this picture? Joyner goes, it's a television. He praises him again. He goes, what about this picture? It's a basketball. He's like, Joyner, you're so amazing. Another great answer. That is a basketball. I don't even know if I could got that one right. So he's really, like, in a sense, like, as an adult, he kind of looks like he's pandering to the kid and just, like, making him feel really good about himself. But he's also doing this psychological thing where, like, when you get it right, you get praise and you feel good about yourself, so it's really great and blah, 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 blah. But now he starts asking him some different questions where it's like it starts to take a wrong twist. So he goes, okay, what about this one? And then Joyner says, that's a condom. And the doctor gets frustrated and he goes, well, we're going to try this again. You better not fuck up this time. And Joyner goes, well, that's a condom. But he's very scared now. He's very shy. And now the doctor starts, like, patronizing him and starts, like, mocking him. Joyner, I just called you a smart boy. Please don't make me regret this statement. You know what? Let's just try another picture. Look closely and tell me what this is. Joyner goes, this is a loaded gun. And then the doctor kind of just loses his mind. And he's like, you better not fuck up this time. It was a loaded gun. And then Joyner's like, it's a loaded gun. He's, like, kind of shivering. You can tell that he's kind of, like, quivering, kind of shaking, like he's really scared. He's kind of feeling like this is what it is, but you're telling me I'm wrong, and I don't understand why I'm wrong when it's supposed to be my thing. Like, I understand what he's showing because I've been through that, where, like, you're asked to, and especially with kids with, for me, I guess, from what I've read and stuff, kids with ADHD, we have a lot of, like, imagination. We have a lot of, we see a lot of things in different ways that a lot of people may not actually notice or may not see, and it's hard to explain how we see these things, and people get very frustrated, which I do understand here, where the doctor's being frustrated with Joyner because he's not getting the answers correctly, but it also seems like Joyner Lucas is just presenting at a young age his environment, what he's used to seeing things around, because when you see photos, you relate them to other things that you've seen before, different shapes, images, colors, and all these different senses and all these different feels with your 6 senses, right? So that's basically how our memory works, right? So it's really cool how, like, he's showing us a little bit about where he comes from and where he's being introduced to and all this stuff. But what really cringes me is the way the doctor is treating Joyner Lucas, and I feel like that's supposed to represent his direct experience, because, to be clear, if a doctor started doing this with any kid, I don't think he should be working with any doctors. It really shows that some people, and I think that's also part of the conversation that Joyner's supposed to bring to the table with this song, is that there may be some people in the medical field who shouldn't actually be there because they're not actually good around certain kids, maybe certain ages, certain adults. So there's a lot to take away from this right away. As somebody with ADHD, I kind of relived my moment with my doctors a lot when I listened to this, but then it started getting twisted, and I was just like, that's not how it went. But I can relate that to other scenarios where people like friends or family members have been frustrated with me when I'm trying to explain something, or when they ask me a question and I give them an answer that works but it's not their answer. That's also a different discussion that I've also brought up from this song, so that was something that I felt was really, really cool. Overall, I gave this song a 4 on 5. I think it's a nice little intro, a skit to the track, to the album. I think it really sets up a little bit about what we're supposed to be getting from Joyner Lucas. So that's something that was really, really cool. And then we are just going to move on to the next track. So the next song is called I Lied, the intro. So track 2 is I Lied, the intro. Now, I'm a little bit confused of why he called the first track the skit and this song the intro. I think it's like because the first song on the album, the first track on the album is supposed to represent like the whole context and theme of the entire project, and this is supposed to be the intro of the story, but I don't know. I feel like the first track, like just me personally, myself, the first track already kind of developed the story a little bit very well, and now I feel like we're supposed to be getting a different story. I'm not sure. That's something I wanted to bring up. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments down below, if you think that was a little weird or whatnot. I mean, I don't think it's weird. It's just, I understand. I don't know why he called this an intro when we just had like a legitimate intro to the project. That was weird to me. I'm not sure. But this song's actually pretty cool. Like, coming off as the first legitimate song on this project where Joyner Lucas gets to really show us who he is, what he's about, and kind of how he flexes and, like, you know, presents the raps and the rhymes and the flows. This is actually pretty cool. I do enjoy the beat. It's, like, really, it's not, like, super hard-hitting, but it's got some nice drum loops. It's got that feel to it. There's an aspect of me that's, like, feeling that Joyner Lucas is a little bit playing around in the trap sound. As much as I've seen him like make fun of like mumble rappers and trap rappers and shit like that, he kind of plays around in that field a little bit, the way he spits bars and kind of connects his words, the way he kind of uses some of their cadences. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if you can actually say that, dude. I don't know if you can actually talk about that and like talk shit about it if you're gonna do it. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna touch that. But the song itself does present a nice idea of lying and kind of dealing with like the idea of trying to move on forward. So what I kind of got from this song is Joyner Lucas is really kind of breaking down how he's made a lot of promises to people, how he said a lot of things to people, but he keeps lying about what he said because in a sense the money has changed him. Once he started making a lot of money, he got indulged into that thrill, that excitement, that he started changing his attitude and started changing the way he was, which is pretty much what the song is about. And he does a very nice breakdown. We start off with the intro. It goes buck, 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 but it's a sample from the song Mad Crew by KRS-One, which is really cool. I feel like it gives off this nice like buck, 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 like this energy to the song. So I thought that was nice, the way the drums kicked in as well. And then Joyner just comes in, kind of giving us like this idea of, I think, where he's trying to like metaphorically explain like where he comes from and kind of like the background of where he is. So that was cool. So he starts off with like, I think I was born inside a cabana with diamonds and gold on top of the phantom. Jesus told Mary, go get me a hammer. I'll kill any homie that tried to get near him. So there seems to be this like religious belief that he's got, that he kind of seems to be into, which I'll definitely get more into that later on. But also it seems cool that he's like trying to isolate himself into some like holy spot, that he's like this golden child, this perfect thing that we're supposed to have, but also showing us that like following up, all the angels were drinking tequila and Michael was sleeping with dirty Diana, and now I can't look at the man in the mirror. I like the Michael Jackson line. He's addressing Michael Jackson sleeping with dirty Diana. I think that's a movie. Is an April single by Michael Jackson, so I like that. And The Man in the Mirror is also another single by Michael Jackson, so that was really cool. He did that like wordplay. He's a very good rapper. He's a very good rapper in terms of like writing down and lyrics, so that was really cool. In another sense, he continues going on. He's like, my life is a movie and here is the trailer. I am no killer, but don't play me. I'm out of my pills, so now I'm going crazy. And he just kind of keeps on going forward. I jumped out of heaven because Lucifer paid me. And there's just a lot of like these things that he's addressing about who he is himself and how he kind of moves through certain ways. So I did appreciate that from him, how he was being honest. At one point he just goes, I needed the money to buy a Mercedes. I fucked a few bitches. I had me a baby. I hope that my son don't grow up to hate me. Now I like how he says that, kind of dealing with this like personal insight about his son hating him and what could really happen with the way he acts and how he kind of just moves through life. And that's really like self-analyzing, which I do appreciate from Joyner Lucas. But so far I'm like, okay, cool. So this is a little bit about how you kind of move and where we're getting this and where you're from. I like this little intro bit. Nice. Then we get the chorus, and he goes, back when homies was jobless, trying to get a buck, plotting on shooting myself, buck. I was just trying to survive, the money went dry, thinking I was losing myself. I prayed to God and promised if he made me rich that I'ma stay true to myself, but fuck it, I lied, and now I just stare in the mirror like, what did I do to myself? I think the old me died. I let the money change me. I lied. I let the money change me. I lied. All the damn promises I forgot. I let the money change me. I lied. Now the chorus is actually really cool. He was addressing that the struggle. He came from nothing. He wanted to kill himself. He was just trying to get by. He needed to make money. Things were very difficult. Again, reinforcing that idea of God with, I prayed to God and promised that if he made me rich. So there is that belief that, you know, there's some higher power out there that'll help you get rich and move forward. But I like how he's being honest about he's lying, and he's really giving into this like idea of, you know, letting the money change him, and how like, you know, if you are not strong enough to deal with this type of fame or excitement or like this type of money that could be thrown at you for a talent, like you really need to learn how to deal with that, because it could change your attitude, it could change your morale. So I do like how he approached that. Verse 2 again follows up with the same thing, but I like how he kind of sets it up more of like in a friend term and not just like himself. So I told my girl I'd give her the world, whatever she wants, consider it done. Soon as I'm rich, I'll buy you a crib and get you a whip, whatever you want. Promise my homies I'll give you $1 million, a couple of cars just so you can stunt. Then I got famous, blew up my head, and fuck it, what I said, my homie, I'm gone. So you can already see that he's like playing that thing where like he's trying to move forward, he's making all these promises to make friends and stuff like that. It seems very impulsive, which is something that people with ADHD deal with, is their need for impulse and the way they just kind of jump at certain things and do things. ADHD kids do have issues with lying at certain times. I have grown out of that stage of my life. I try to tell the truth on every single thing I can and be as honest as possible, and I made sure that a lot of people, and I surround myself with people who won't let me lie about anything, actually just be straight honest. And I think that's something that you have to do for yourself to be able to grow and be more mature and act responsibly with ADHD. Just a little tangent there, but so far we're seeing that like he's making a lot of promises and he's breaking them, and he's getting more in detail about, you know, kind of like who he is and what he's done. So I do appreciate that from him. But what I was really interested in is how he like follows up with being very rich, and you know, he's hopping in the foreign, he's going for a stretch, he's like, fuck life, I'm just gonna do what I want. But I like how he expresses how does he feels. He's still depressed. He's probably going to get killed, but fuck it, he's blessed. Now, homie, I'm rich. I'm done with the stress. Now I got drip and blood, sweat, and blood, homie, sweat. So I like how he's addressing the dedication and the commitment that he put into work, which is cool. But I'm still kind of just like, this feels a little fluff. Like, just where is the meat? Where is the grittiness? Where is the... Okay, you're flexing, so I'll give him that. As a first song, I'll give him that. He's flexing. Cool. I like how on the pre-chorus, we follow up with the pre-chorus, he goes, I had to move back home. My mama was heated. I locked myself in my room to hide all my demons. I told my uncle to give me a loan because I really needed it. Soon as I'm on, I promise I'll pay you in full, but I didn't mean it. So I like how he's addressing that. He's like, you know, he had to move back to his mom's. That's a struggle that needed to happen. Like his mom, he like, you know, put pressure on his mother. He would like put her in a bad position, and that wasn't really something that made her comfortable. He like took money from his uncle and never really paid him back, and he's just being very honest and vulnerable at the moment, which I did appreciate. Then we get the chorus, and then we get the third verse, and the third verse again still kind of feels like the same thing, but a little bit more cocky, where he's just kind of being like, I got money, I do kind of what I want, I blew up, and all that humble shit went out the window. So it's like it seems like he's self-reflecting and self-analyzing at the same time as realizing that like he's made mistakes and that he's done certain things that may not be good. But at the same time, he's also kind of addressing that like, they say that I change. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe them pills the doctor prescribed me got me wanting to kill them, and maybe I might. I don't really know what he's trying to say here. Like, I feel like he's addressing like how the medication that doctors give kind of like play with people's minds and stuff, and kind of go around, and you know, it's like we don't really know what all these chemicals actually do to people, but like there's a vast majority of like, oh well, there's tests and stuff. Well, okay, but everybody's different. So I can understand, like, this is kind of like a flow of consciousness in a sense, but I'm still like, okay, here's back with the ADHD. He's trying to deal with, like, coping with the medication he has to take. Maybe my family's upset because I made it, because no one expected that I would be famous, and just because we blood don't mean we're related. I'm threatening the plug. I'm not with that fake shit. I'm not with that. And I'm like, okay, so it seems like there's some issues with his family, and like maybe like he's a little bit selfish and greedy. So that's some stuff we're getting here, and it just kind of flows through, and he kind of lets us know that he took a girl out, and then like she broke up with him, and flows through, and he reinforces the idea of letting the money change him, which I thought it was cool. I thought the idea was really nice. But I'm just struggling to see where that connects with this theme of like ADHD. Is this just like how you be like? I understand maybe being like impulsive and like being like all that. Maybe that could be a conversation that we can get out of this. But I didn't really get that much of like content. I just felt like he was really just bragging about what he's got, but also showing that like this is what I used to be like, and this is what I used to act, and like now the new me is even worse than what the old me was possibly. But I don't really know. Let me know what you guys think. I overall gave this song a 4.2 on 5. I thought it was actually pretty cool though, and it was a nice intro to who Joyner Lucas is. And yeah, so the next track, track 3 on this project, is ISIS featuring Logic. Okay. I would really appreciate somebody to explain to me why the title of this song is called ISIS, and then the intro to this song is the literal definition of attention deficit hyper disorder, which is ADHD. I'm not understanding this connection at all. I'm not understanding this. I don't get it. But besides that, I like the beat, I like the energy, I like the rapidness in it, I like how there's just like the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and it's just all over the place. It really fits my ADHD brain the way I just like all these types of noises, which is really cool how he's playing that theme in terms of these songs and the instrumental. Now to start off, we get the intro where it is like a PR system, like a intercom system, where this woman's like speaking about ADHD. So attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or better known as ADHD, is a mental disorder that affects an individual's abilities to focus, causing them to move around more frequently. They may also have trouble controlling their impulsive behaviors, which is absolutely true, 100%. Hi, I'm walking definition. If you've ever watched any of the podcasts or you see anything that I do on this podcast, I am very not able to sit still a lot. I move around a lot, even at work. Now they've installed these new desks that move up and down, and we can think, oh, I'm always standing and sitting and standing and sitting, and it's just like, it's something that as somebody with ADHD you really have to deal with. You know, you got to learn how to like maintain that and stay calm. And you know, there's a lot of like things you can do, like cut out a lot of caffeine, don't drink energy drinks, don't drink coffee, as much as it's really great to. Caffeine is a really addictive source to kids with ADHD because it gives us this like wiring feeling, and like we're just so alive and so hyperactive, and our brains are just moving a lot that it's just crazy, and all of our behaviors are super impulsive, and it's just insane. I can vouch for that 100%, and if you talk to Holden, he will vouch for that as well. Now, anyway, moving off of that tangent, we get into the chorus where Joyner Lucas is kind of like dedicating this song to people. So one time for them praying on my downfall, one time for the homies in the chow hall, 3 times for the hoes on the internet, shitting on homies when they really should get out more, 4 times for the days that were all bad, 5 times for the bitches who ain't called back, 6 times for the kids who like me, who got ADHD, just brap, brap, brap. I don't really get it. That he's grouping in a bunch of people who like may or may not have ADHD. I get it that he's like, you know, going out, he's trying to group in all these people who are doing difficult things and trying to get through life and trying to just survive and stuff, but how does that like connect with kids with ADHD? Some of these people who like are on the internet, some of these people who are dealing with bad days don't have ADHD. They're just regular people, or they're just people with other conditions that are dealing with. I don't quite understand. I'm not trying to be judgmental or negative. I just, again, like I said, I'm very critical because I have ADHD, and I feel like I would be able to relate a lot to Joyner Lucas with this, but I don't really see any relatability here so far. I'm just like, okay, I understand like the whole idea of like grouping everyone in and being all equal, so I get that. But I'm just like, all right, let's just kind of see what's happening. And then we get into the verse where it basically just sounds like he's shitting on a bunch of people who hated on him, which I'm pretty cool with that. Like, it's really hype and it's really dope the way he just flexes and he goes in. So he's like, kidnap a homie like ISIS, turn the whole world into a crisis. Again, I don't know why we're referencing ISIS. I just don't understand. Let's read the annotation. ISIS is a terrorist organization known for creating crisis through mass shootings and bombings, according to February 2018 CNN article. Okay, but why is this still a thing? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Something about ISIS is also known for kidnapping and torturing. For example, in April 2019, the group kidnapped British journalist John Cantley, as well as many Syrian citizens. However, ISIS website, as well as many of the American and British kidnappings, were proven to be propaganda. So I guess he's trying to be like really creative and trying to expose propaganda. But I'm just like, okay, whatever. Walk around the city with an ice pick. I've been paranoid. Usually I ain't like this, and no telling how crazy I might get. Beat the police with a nightstick. In my whole life I've been lifeless. Now I'm so fly. I'm a motherfucking flight risk. Okay, so like I understand what he's saying, that he's trying to deal with like his ADHD. He's trying to deal with certain things. Kids with ADHD do have high anxiety, do have high paranoia, because our brains are running so quickly and we think about so many things and so many times, and we jump around and get distracted that we just have so many thoughts and so many processes going through our brains that we just lose track of what's really happening, and then we start hitting anxiety, at least for me. So a lot of what I'm saying is very just personal experiences. So welcome to Headspace Podcast, where Chris gets personal today, or at least for this review. But yeah, so I can kind of relate to that, which is really cool. I like when he goes, homies throwing stones at my glass house. I remember sleeping on my dad's couch. Now I got the Bentley and it's blacked out. Family looking at me like I'm like a cash cow. Everybody dissing just to have clout. Thought you had a chance, now you assed out. Homie, I'm the motherfucking man now. Where you at now? So I like how he's kind of clapping back and showing everybody that he made it. I like that determination. I like that commitment. That was really, really cool. That like pride he's carrying is also really nice. I like how he's explaining that people shouldn't throw stones at his glass house, because it's like, it's interesting how he's using that idea where you shouldn't throw stones at a glass house because it'll break. But the moment, I feel like he's like warning people, like if he breaks, he will explode and go into like this rage mode. So that is something that was very interesting to me. And then he kind of just follows through and he's like explaining, like where he says here, I done held a couple grudges, went to hell and got abducted. Meet the devil. I'm his cousin. I ain't settling for nothing. Don't really see how yet. You're just kind of flexing about how you're really good. So I don't know. Got a mental in the truck. Got a metal in the truck. I keep a semi when I'm bussing. Homies ducking. Even Stevie Wonder could have seen it coming. Not really understanding still though. Like, I don't really have any idea of like the environment you come from. Maybe you're trying to express it now so far, but I'm not really understanding what's happening. Is this supposed to be like metaphors to like your bars or something like that? Possibly. Now I do like how he addresses my high school teacher said I never been shit. Tell that bitch that I turned out to be just fine. And no, I don't know you for the 20th time. We do not share the same bloodline. You love to run your mouth like a tough guy. Hope you keep the same energy when it's crunch time. I like how he's addressing that people want to like try to associate with him and kind of be by his side now that he's famous and he's kind of doing some shit. So that's really, really cool. I like how he's addressing the teachers, because teachers are like, not all teachers, but some teachers are shit. Like, I'm just gonna get it out there. Like, there's a lot of teachers in my life that I really respect and highly praise, and I kind of taken away a lot of their teachings and and what they've shown me to like look and seek out other mentors who show me in the same way. So I respect a lot of the educational system and a lot of teachers who go through what they go through in the educational system, which I've heard is pretty shitty from a lot of teachers and a lot of people who do that. But to be clear, there's also a lot of shitty teachers who, honestly, I feel like they just kind of had nothing else left to do in life. They needed a paycheck and they felt like school was the easiest way to get in, because it's kind of just like you got to just be good at school and teaching. I don't know. I don't know the criteria. I don't want to get into that argument, but it's just like I've had teachers who are just real trash. And it's like, they know I had ADHD. My parents would talk with them, and it's a lot of elementary school teachers who just don't know how to, I feel like, don't know how to actually deal with kids who have this idea that they're going to be good teachers, but they actually don't know how to deal with kids with mental illness. They don't know how to deal with kids with certain problems at home and stuff like that, and they're just not well equipped is what I'm going to say. Maybe not themselves, but they're just not well equipped, and that could be the educational system, that could be the schools, that could be whatever, but I've had many, many, many times where it's like, just teachers have talked down to me, or teachers have treated me in a certain way because of my ADHD, because of my outbursts, because of my certain things where I don't feel it was like highly appropriate to do it that way. So I can't relate to what he's saying there. And honestly, when this pops off and when everything does happen and makes it, yeah, fuck all those teachers. I'm also going to say the same thing. Like, thank you for proving to me that I can actually make it and prove you guys wrong, but fuck you also for not believing in me and telling me that I could, maybe not telling me, it's not like I need that reassurance, but being kind of like, you know, you got this, and actually showing me that there's some hope in the world. Granted, the world is difficult and we're in a really bad situation right now, but should we really be showing like the younger generation or even kids nowadays that there is no hope, or should we at least have them feel like there's some sort of positivity? I don't know. Start that conversation in the comments down below. Let me know. In the end, we move forward to the interlude. According to the American Psychiatric Association, it affects roughly 8% of children and 2% of adults, commonly believed to only affect boys because they are perceived as rowdy and rambunctious, which is very, very interesting because I like how he's saying commonly believed to only affect boys because they are perceived as rowdy and rambunctious. So it kind of like brings in this conversation that I've had with many people where they don't actually believe ADHD is true because of the fact that boys just do naturally have a lot of energy. We just puberty and all this other stuff. We just have different things, different sports that we want to do, different activities. So we do have a lot more energy. I'm not saying women don't. There's a lot of women that I know have a fuck ton of energy, more than I do. But just boys as kids, you know, men as boys and boys as kids in general, however you fucking want to say it, you know, they just have just generally more energy. I find even having a little brother, I noticed that he just had more energy compared to like my little cousin who was a girl. So it was just something like that. Now it brings up this idea that, you know, ADHD is just maybe a way to kind of get kids on medication to calm them down or something like that. But I think that's like a responsibility from the parents to really take the time to really get like more information about it and really get your kid tested. Like I said, my parents brought me to 4 doctors as a kid before they really got me on medication and stuff to really get a solid note of what ADHD I had and what it was. So it was really cool. Then we get back into the chorus, which again, I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm biting that bullet. I don't get it. You're grouping everybody together. Cool. Shout out to the kids with ADHD. Shout out to me. I should feel shouted out to, but I don't. And then Logic comes in and says absolutely nothing about ADHD or nothing. He addresses the beef between him and Joyner. What's beef? Beef is when you murder motherfuckers on a beat. Kill them all. Kill them all. Nah. What's beef? Beef is brothers dying over shit that never mattered in the first place, laying in the street. It's not even like it's addressing it properly. Logic says absolutely nothing here. Like, he makes a bunch of clever references, a bunch of nice little punches, which are cool. You can go check out the song, honestly. But I've listened to this a bunch of times, and really the only thing I like about it is the fact that it's just really, really hype. But there's nothing in regards to ADHD. I feel like the interludes are there just to continue the theme, but there's nothing to this that has any connection to ADHD. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. Maybe Joyner Lucas's verse has something to do with ADHD because I've broken it down and now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Fair. But Logic, seriously? There was no connection there with ADHD. There was nothing about there. It really just felt like you're addressing people, just like letting people know that they can't fuck with you, that like you're a really good rapper, that you're better than people, you're sticking to the mission of trying to get this. It just doesn't make sense. I understand the idea of being spasmic and impulsive and just kind of going out there in the way that Logic presents the flows and everything. That's really hype. That's really cool. I get that part. But on a serious note, like the content itself is just pretty much stupid. Everybody living on the surface, but we came from the underground. Yeah, we deserve it. Okay, cool. The only thing that Logic actually references to ADHD is, far from the minimum, killing them with no Ritalin, and 5'9" was the middleman to get them in the same room. The only thing ADHD related was Ritalin, because there's this whole thing about children. There was actually severe deaths and cases of severe deaths in kids where kids were dying off of Ritalin. Luckily, I got off of that stuff and I moved on to other things. But, like, that's the only thing that Logic has ever said in this entire verse about ADHD. And I'm a little bit like, what the fuck's the point? So far, I feel like we've missed the mark on what this album is about right now. We're only on track 3. I'm kind of sitting here like, all right, maybe the whole part of you lying, I kind of understand. As somebody with ADHD, I've been down that road. I've done some stupid things and we're being impulsive. Cool. But what the fuck's the point of the title, ISIS? And what the fuck's the point of Logic's verse? I don't understand it. Please, somebody let me know down below and have that conversation with me. Hit me up on Twitter and let me know what the fuck the point is. But I just do not understand. I'm sorry. Overall, I gave this song a 4 on 5. Both the artists can actually really rap. They're really, really good at what they do. But content-wise, I'm sitting here going, dude, seriously, like, what are we getting here? I did not, like... I mean, I didn't really wait for this album because I don't pay attention to this shit. But, like, dude, if people have been waiting for this album, this is what you're giving them, and this is the feature that we have here, the first feature on the track, on the album, and this is what we get. I am not impressed. Logic, I am not impressed. I'm sorry. I respect Logic's ability to rap and stuff, but I think I've said this before. What the fuck does Logic actually say? Like, we reviewed the album, and I reviewed his last album, and I don't even think he fucking said anything that was worth really giving a shit about. So, I don't know. I don't know. Besides the fact that they're really good rappers, I don't really know what the deal with this is. Anyway, I'm going on another tangent about me just hating this for no absolute reason, because I do like it. It's a 4 on 5. The track's dope. The way they spit is dope. I respect the flows. I respect the verses. It's all dope, and we're just going to move on. The next track is The War featuring Young Thug. Okay. For the people listening on the podcast, I'm literally just rubbing my face. I know I shouldn't because of quarantine, but I can't resist. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to tear my face apart. Okay, so, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? I don't like this track. I don't like this track at all. I don't have anything to say about this track. I don't like it. It's one of those songs that I just don't think should be on the album. This is complete garbage. Okay, let's break it down here and let me just have, let me be nice a little bit. Let me try to just be somewhat positive with this fucking garbage fire trash can song. First off, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where I'm gonna do this. Okay, so the song itself is about how Joyner Lucas is in love with a girl and she ends up, breaking his heart, and he realized that she's not the one for him. It's cool, but the actual meat to this song is absolute garbage. There's literally nothing to this song that, like, is really hard hitting. He makes a bunch of references to people, which is cool. All of you birds is Danny DeVito. I'm a die a legend like Danny Marino. Don't care. This is supposed to be a love song. All right, she a daddy's girl like Regina. All right, so he made a nice little shout out to Lil Wayne. That's dope. And his daughter, Regina Carter. Okay, cool, great, highly respect. I paid my dues. I ain't gonna lose. Where the hell is, where are we talking, Joyner? Where are we going with this project so far? Where is the ADHD theme? Where is everything? Now, I say that going, as somebody with ADHD, I understand what he's kind of saying here in regards to the relationship and how, like, he's dealing with it. But, like, there's nothing that really shows me that how he deals with his ADHD in this project. Like, if you're somebody who doesn't have ADHD and you're trying to listen to this to learn a little bit about somebody's perspective, this is not a good perspective at all. There's nowhere in here that really describes a relationship. Okay, so pre-chorus. I spent a check on a whip, on a bitch, on a grip, on a flip, lost a darling, got it right back. Yeah, I fell in love with a chick that I thought was my bitch till I found out that it wasn't really like that. Yeah. Okay, so far we figured out you got screwed over, you did a bunch of things for this girl. Cool, nice. So I won't be around anymore. I can't hear the sounds of the war, and this ain't gonna go down like before. I can hear the sounds of the war. So now I'm like, all right, cool. So there's a story behind this. There's something that's been happening. This is really interesting. All right, let's get this. I used to make love to a down-ass trick. You could bend her over backwards. I don't need much but a badass bitch and a Netflix password. All right, I get you. You're starting off slow. Okay, let's get into it. I know that I'm coming home late, but fuck it. What we gonna do after? I'm trying to get head today. Go to work like you got rent to pay. She's daddy's girl like Regina. I paid my dues. I ain't gonna lose. Hit him in the head like Debo. Alright, so far now you fucking lost me. What are we talking about? So I know that he's building this context and he's like really showing that he likes her and that he's really down for her. But watch this. I just blew a check at the damn casino. Stroll through life like I ain't got rules. Okay, wait a minute. Did you get head though? Did you engage in intercourse? Is there anything that happened when you got home after? Where's the follow-up to that? You explain how you're praising her. Where is the part that you're... Alright, so now we're at the casino. Okay, cool. Stroll through like I ain't got rules. I can relate to that. I kind of live life like I don't gotta do anything, and it's my life, and I do what I want, and I make my own rules. Not a good mentality, I'll admit. It's not something I condone, but it's not that bad. You know, stay safe as much as you can do. You think I ain't shit if I ain't got you, but how you gonna walk if you ain't got shoes? Shawty shooting bullets from the Pontiac. She a ventilating hypochondriac. She just want to know where the molly at. I just want to know where the party at. I'm gonna leave your ass where I got you at. Damn, you done left the dog off the leash. Can't talk to me now. I'm harder to reach. You don't belong to me. You belong to the streets. What the fuck? Where was the fight? Where was the argument? You literally just went from praising her to saying you went to a casino and now she's losing her mind. There was no like actual structure or follow-up to this fucking verse. And it's just a bunch of running around. Now, granted, I understand that with ADHD, and I'm always going to keep saying this. I understand how he's writing his songs because I kind of do the same thing too. And there may be a story in his head that he's trying to portray and explain, which, as somebody with ADHD, I can definitely respect and love for that. But you got to do it better. You got to really explain something better if you're going to try to give us the story about how this girl broke your heart. Like, there's literally, I don't even know what the fuck she did. She seems to be like you know, she wants to know the money. That to me seems like just like a pill head or a drug addict. No judgment. Do what y'all want. Happy 2020. But like, where is the issue? You seem to be attracted to this. Like, you want to fuck women and have a great time on your last track, and you're doing a bunch of shit. What's going on with this? I don't understand. Whatever. So then we get into the pre-chorus. I spent a check on the way up on a bitch. Okay, cool, whatever. And I guess he's really just trying to explain, like, you know, because he's done all this shit, he won't be around no more. Now, you know, I've been there. You know, I feel like many guys have been there. If you haven't been there, well, good. If you have been there, I'm sorry, it sucks. But, like, he really just seems to be very vague and not even showing any raw emotion about this. He's trying to with this, like, sing-songy voice that he's using, which isn't appealing at all. Anyway, whatever. Then we get to verse 2, which I don't even want to actually talk about. I'll be completely honest. I don't like Young Thug. I don't like anything Young Thug does. I understand that he's like super famous because he can make his voice this fucking sound audio amazingness, and the cadence that he does is great. So I respect him on his talent, his presentation. But let's just remember, okay? This is supposed to be the way it's coming off. It's supposed to be this song about a love thing, and the way that's being presented, this girl broke Joyner Lucas's heart. Young Thug goes, I got a Rolls, a pink Chanel, like R.I.P. Prodigy. Alright, R.I.P. Prodigy, mad respects to that, shout out, okay. Even when I'm just in at the spot, my wrist is a 40. I'm in New York with 500 sticks and we sell them 2,000 a piece. A hundo for privates, yeah, land in Hawaii, my bitch is in Honolulu. I hopped off a jet and I land in Dubai. Look like she got red contact in her eyes. I'm about to ride. You know you can slide. About to ride and I don't lie. Want your body like Nicki Minaj. Hypnotize the jeweler with these diamonds. Taking mine. Yeah, that's the honor. Fuck with you. But this one done. Yeah. Alright, I understand he's kind of saying shit happens. He wants to fuck her and she leaves. But you understand that reading this gives me a fucking headache. Like, none of it, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get what is appealing about Young Thug and the way he raps. He just says a bunch of shit that when you really sit down after a while of like, okay, what are you fucking saying? Kinda makes sense. But I shouldn't have to. I don't even know, dude. Maybe I'm like lazy and I don't want to. I'll admit to that. But I shouldn't have to actually sit here and be like, what the fuck are you saying after the fourth time of listening to the song? That's just me. Then we get the chorus, and I like how, no, we get the bridge where Joyner Lucas is like, and all my life I just wanted to be me, babe. And all my life I just wanted to be free. Said all them nights spent together we would have stayed up to live forever. You act like you don't remember, but I do. I really like this part of the song. This is like literally the only legitimate part of this song that I actually like. The bridge that Joyner Lucas does here is really, really great. I like it. Sounds more genuine. It sounds more honest. It sounds more pure. I highly appreciate it. This is literally the only fucking part of the song that I like. Overall, I gave this track a 3.215. It's absolute fucking trash. The beat's garbage. Young Thug's verse is garbage. The voice and mixing on this is fucking garbage. And I just want to set this in a garbage can and set it on fire and kick it down a fucking cliff. Like, it's absolute nonsense. I hate this. 3.215. I give them the respect for rapping. I give them the respect and the talent because I know that they are very talented, and trust me, there's other projects that I've heard Young Thug on that are way better, but this is just absolute shit. 3.215. The next track is a skit, and it's Chris. I don't understand the point of this. Now, okay, so it's Chris Tucker calling up Joyner Lucas, basically cussing him out and bitching at him about the album taking forever to drop. And honest to God, this is actually really funny when you start listening to the album, when you start like really getting into it, because I am not impressed right now. Like, coming off of this project, coming off of the last track, I'm not actually impressed. And Chris Tucker at one point in this skit does address that, like, look, you're taking forever to drop this project. This shit better be really fucking good. Like, if it's gonna be this long and you've been doing this whole rollout, he calls him out on the rollout, he calls him out on everything. Now, what I do like is how Chris Tucker is addressing the ADHD part, and he's kind of picking on Joyner Lucas for having ADHD. He's calling him out for, like, every time that Chris Tucker gets onto YouTube, he sees like some video about Joyner Lucas having a pity party about ADHD, and he's really dismissing this idea of what ADHD is. So I can appreciate what Joyner Lucas is doing here to show how, like, maybe ignorant some people are to it. I don't think it's a really good look for Chris Tucker. I understand that it's a fucking, like, he's a comedian and he makes jokes and it's funny, so, like, this isn't really offensive, because I do understand that with comedy you can, you know, you're trying to get across a message, but I guess, like, it is supposed to be offensive to somebody who's been dealing with ADHD. Now, granted, I've been through this. I've actually had this conversation. Me and Holden have actually had this conversation, and not to put Holden in a bad perspective, that's not what I'm doing, but from the aspect of, like, yeah, I'm in the middle of building an album. I've been working at this album for, like, ever. You know, there's a lot of things that happen. Life happens, money, investments, moving, all this shit. So, you know, things get pushed back. But the idea here is to really express that, like, even if there is things that are pushed back, if you have your mindset on something, where Chris Tucker does explain, like, you know, his mama had ADHD, his grandmother had ADHD, but they weren't lazy. They really took the charge and really had to do what they had to do. So I do appreciate what, like, Chris Tucker's trying to do, and really, like, support Joyner Lucas, and really being like, yo, get that shit together, man. And he's being a real man about it and being friendly about it in like the Chris Tucker way. So I do appreciate this, but, like, what the fuck? Getting this at this point with what I've already heard, I'm like, I don't know how impressed I am for the rest of the project. To be clear, like, if like this itself as a skit should have been a rollout tactic, I feel, in like a strategic way, where like you kind of like leak this as Chris Tucker giving you a thing, and then you're kind of following up with a song that is going to lead to the album, and like you and Chris Tucker kind of play this out. Maybe that's what you guys did. But literally having this as track 5 on the album after the fucking intro is a screening evaluation about your ADHD. The next track is some song about how you fucking lied to people. The next track is a song called ISIS that has no representation about anything with AD fucking HD. I've already went through all these. The next track is The War, which is completely garbage. And now we're to this. I don't understand the placement of some of these songs, and the way that he's presenting this is not good so far. But overall, that's all I really have to say about this skit. Check it out for yourself. It's funny because Chris Tucker's really great and he's fucking hilarious. He's a legend. So 4 on 5 because it's funny, but like it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really give you anything more to want to listen to the album. You're just kind of like, yeah, bro, this shit better be fucking good. And so far, it's not all that good. Like, it's not the greatest thing. It's for your first debut album at all. After you've been releasing it, you've been, like, rolling it out for what feels like a fucking decade. Yeah, bro, this isn't all the greatest thing. But so far, I'm not trying to contradict anything I said. Some of the songs are really good, and I do appreciate Joyner Lucas as like a legitimate artist. He's really, really great, but I'm just like, bro, where's the ADHD? Where is the message? Where are you dealing with any of it? A lot of this has been just a bunch of fluff, and maybe, and you know what? I haven't really gone in depth on the rest of the album. I'll be doing that tomorrow morning and reviewing it then. But where, like so far, I don't even want to fucking listen to the rest because I don't have anything here that's going, oh yeah, we're talking about ADHD. We're getting really in depth. We're going to really get to know and try to educate some people. I'm getting a bunch of fucking songs about how you're rich and not giving a fuck. That's what I'm getting. Like, how am I supposed to relate to this? I'm broke, poor, living in an apartment with a fucking like silly looking painting, making YouTube videos to try to get to where you are, and I'm supposed to relate to this. I've already explained where I relate. This, so far, it's like a hit or miss, bro. Like, sorry, Joyner, if you see this, man, you really need to step up. In my opinion, you really need to step up on your next project because I am highly not impressed. I'm not offended because there's nothing offensive here. I can totally understand where you come from with a lot of it, but where is the theme of ADHD? You called your album this, and we're literally 5 tracks in and I see nothing. Granted, you're bringing up laziness and stuff in comments, but it's hit or miss. Anyway, 4 on 5. Next track is called I Love. So here we have Joyner Lucas bringing that same energy and that same consistency in terms of the content, of where I feel like he's kind of just addressing that you can't really fuck with him. And I don't actually think that is true. I don't think that he can claim that. There is a lot of rappers that I've reviewed, especially already in 2020, who can most probably make a better project so far, or at least make some better, like, just content. Anyway, I like this track because it's catchy, it's got a nice vibe to it, it's got this energy to it, the beat's really great, and it's very vibey. I do like it, but it lacks in like, again, messaging and content. So he starts off, yeah, that's the intro. Chorus, get away from me. If I was you, I'd watch what you say to me. Snakes all in my bed, want to lay with me. This ain't no motherfucking game. Why you play with me? Don't play with me. This is the only thing. I love. And he repeats it a bunch of times. I love, don't play with me. This is the only thing. I love. And he goes in. What am I supposed to take from this? Like, for me, I'm sitting here going, I think you like it when people play with you because it allows you to act out and stuff like that. Me being ADHD, yeah, for sure. I like pissing people off who want to try to fuck with me. I like taking that challenge. That's what we kind of do. We're impulsive like that. But if literally the only message we're going to get from you on this project is that you're impulsive, bro, that's not all that ADHD is. There's way more to it. So I'm hoping there's more. But apparently, according to Joyner Lucas, there was an interview with DJ K Slay on the Shady 45 at Eminem's Uncensored Hip Hop channel, where Joyner Lucas basically goes, in the hook, I'm basically saying that I love, but the deeper meaning behind the record is I really love success. And I'm supposed to get that how from the chorus before I get into the verse. Whatever. Fine. So we get into the verse, which, again, I'm going to say this now. It's literally just the same shit we've been getting. We're now on track 6, where he hasn't said anything different than what he said already before. Still layered properly, still technically good. Everything he's saying is really dope. But I'm just like, dude, what? Where are we going? So, look, I love it when they count me out. I'm a soldier. Love it when they think I ain't cool because I'm sober. Alright, so I like the fact that you represent being a sober rapper. That's cool. It gives you that like edgy feeling, and you're diverse because you don't do drugs and you're highly against it. So cool. You used to love me when we was down, we was closer, but I stopped loving ever since I got fucked over. Okay, we know that in that shitty song you made, we figured that out. Cool. Ho, don't call me. I don't know ya. You gotta keep that same energy. I'm not a regular entity. I'm not your friend. I'm your enemy. I don't know what's gotten into me lately. I'm just feeling finicky. Okay. Lately, I just want that cake and the greatest amenities. Lately, I'm just no sympathy. Aim for the industry. So I understand that he's kind of in this like mode now, and I kind of get that because right now I'm in that phase of my life where I'm like, yo, I'm just grinding. So I understand that he's showing these different phases between ADHD and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like the way he's presenting it so far just kind of sounds like a lot of the same shit. They said I'd be nothing. They said I'd never be rich. They said never be anything. I told them get off my dick. We know this already, though. Like, if he would have brought this back somewhere in like the later part of the album, that's okay. But so far, I'm getting a lot of just the same shit. You're just telling everybody to leave you alone and that you've made it and all this stuff. Then we get back into the chorus, and again, get away from me. If I was you, I'd watch what you say to me. And it's just like, why? Like, I understand what you were saying because you're dealing with impulsiveness and stuff, but honestly, like, it just kind of shows like you don't really want to mature and act up and like grow up and learn how to deal with your ADHD. That's what I'm kind of getting here. Like, people shouldn't have to watch what they say to you. People should watch what they say, period. Just learn how to talk properly and be respectful and stuff. But there shouldn't be this warning feeling where it's like, you got to watch what you say to me. Like, what, now that I'm reviewing your album, you're gonna come find me? Like, I don't understand. I don't, like, you're making it sound so badass, but so far I've gotten nothing off of this project that makes you look like a complete badass. I don't know what shooters you know. I don't know what drug deals or anything. I don't know anything. You've literally just been, I'm a really badass rapper. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you're a dope rapper. You can spit bars. You know Eminem. Okay, cool. You're validated. But where are you actually badass? Where do you come from? I have no idea yet. And we're 6 tracks in. And I think that's part of my problem, is that we're 6 tracks in and I have no fucking clue anything about you besides you're dope, you have ADHD, and you can rap, and you like money. Oh, and a girl broke your heart, but, you presented it in a really shitty way with Young Thug, so whatever. Verse 2. Yo, I love the days they say I couldn't eat when I fell. On the streets with no help. Money ain't everything. Homie, speak for yourself. Pawn shops every week. Scraping change. Pay the bills. Rainy days couldn't sleep. Now I sleep with my grills. I wanted to be like Hove. I'm living La Vida Loc. They just want to ride my wave. You ain't never seen my boat. I hit him with the East Side Smoke. I'm gonna kill everyone. I'm a G.I. Joe. Alright, so, like, again, he's literally just saying the same shit. And it's like, you are seeing that, like, he did go through a struggle. He had to always be with money. He always had to make sure there was change in the house or whatnot. So he is showing that, like, dedication and that commitment to, like, yo, I'm all about the money because I just got to keep doing what I got to do to move. But again, you followed up with just a bunch of other, like, things that just are kind of useless. Like, you've already said that. Hiding my weapons all in my Levi's coat. If a homie was pimping, you'd probably be my hoe. But what weapons? Do you have weapons on you? Is this a thing? Like, you don't really, I wouldn't know because you don't really seem to showing me anything that shows that you're hanging around with really some gangster ass dudes. But hey, that's just me. And then, it kind of follows through, and then we get the chorus again following it out. I don't know. I like the song. I do play it. I liked it. I gave it a 4 on 5. It's a great track in a sense. But again, it's just content-wise, I'm sitting here going, what are we actually getting from Joyner Lucas right now? Anyway, next track is Devil's Work. So this song is actually really cool with what Joyner Lucas did here. Now, he starts off with saying, "Father, forgive me." So we're back into this like belief in God, belief in Jesus, and he's really showing like this religious side. And I like how he presents this as a one verse type of song where he's kind of questioning God on like a lot of things that he has issues with. I'm staring at this Bible as I keep glancing, dear Lord, I got questions and I need answers, trying to understand your vision. All I see is damage, just a bunch of dead bodies in the street camping, a bunch of lost souls on their feet standing. And now you're getting into that deepness. You're really getting into his head where he's questioning and he's kind of seeing the atmosphere in the society. This I fucking like. The beat to this is really great. The way he presents this is really great. We supposed to be your children. I thought we family. You supposed to be my father, bruh. I need answers. So you can really see that help and that disparity. He really wants to see something. He wants to seek for help. We don't need to die young. We just need chances. Tired of living on the edge. We just keep scrambling. Trying to talk to these strippers, but they keep dancing. We just want to be number one like Steve Francis. So there's more, and it's basically that the whole way through up until he starts kind of name dropping a lot of people that are passed away and that he thinks should be brought back because he misses them or they're like good. But it's also these questions like, why did you take these people? Why haven't you taken other people? So for example, they say you never wrong, but you done made a few mistakes. Because you taken wrong homies, maybe you should trade us back all the real ones, remove the fakes. I think you should trade. Give us Tupac back and take that homie Suge. So I get that Suge Knight and it doesn't really seem to be somebody who a lot of people look upon to. He's done a lot of bad things and such that. So I understand like where he's getting at because he just kind of wants to have justice. Let the legend resurrect and he gonna live for good. I've been screaming thug life in every different hood. If only you could bring him back, Lord, I wish you would. Give us Biggie, give us Pun, give us Triple X. Take that homie Trump with you. That's a bigger threat. So, like, he's really name dropping just a bunch of people. But how you take Selena and then you take Aaliyah with you, I ain't trying to disrespect, just need to meet up with you. I ain't trying to overstep, just want to reason with you. Give us back our loved ones, then take the evil with you. Send them suckers straight to hell, they don't need a vigil. I need you to give us back Martin Luther, take Martin Shkreli. Give us back Malcolm, take R. Kelly. R.I.P. Lil Snoop, give that boy his life back. Take Eric Holder, give us Eric Wright back. So it's just a lot of like political people and a lot of just names that he kind of just keeps dropping and asking God questions on why certain things are happening and why people are trapped in certain environments and certain stuff like that. But I like how he kind of follows up this really long verse with like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just frustrated. I don't mean to question you. I'm just confused. I don't know what else to do. I've been patient and it sucks waiting. Took my mans from me. That forever hurts. But putting the blame on you, that'd never work. I know this ain't your fault. It's the devil's work. The devil's work. So I understand how he's kind of sitting there going like, he's really trying to get with him. I feel like he's trying to get with himself and really be one with himself. At the same time, he's asking God all these questions, but also not diminishing his belief in God. He's really just kind of reaching out and showing like, I know that the devil is the one who's doing all these bad things and you're just trying to keep good in the hearts. I thought it was cool. I thought it was actually really just straightforward. There isn't really much like depth to this or encodement. It's really actually just straightforward for a song. So I did give this a 4.2 on 5. I thought this was one of the more meatier and had more content and just more touching to this. Don't know where this has to be with ADHD, but the message itself is really, really great. And the idea of just questioning and trying to figure out these things and just opening your heart to God and your mind to God and really just believing and trying to find answers, that's really cool. So 4.2 on 5. The next track is Lotto. Okay, look, so I'm already at about an hour and 20 minutes here, and I like, this is going to get really long if I continue doing this, so I'm going to have to edit a bunch of this stuff, because honestly, this is one of those other songs that he's just talking about how rich he is. It is absolutely pointless. The song itself is cool. I like how he's got this vibe to it. I like how Molly Mall is on the track producing. I like what he kind of does this. I like the Slick Rick reference. I got the gun lock loaded. I'm a giant, so keep one eye open like Slick Rick. I like how he say that. I like when he goes, keep the big strap on me like a hitman. It goes click clack willow wallow bing bang. That's pretty cool. That's another shout out to Witch Doctor by David Savelli. So that's really cool too as well. But like, dude, this song just is, again, crap. Like, it doesn't, this is the only part that, like, I feel he's trying to validate himself, but it's still just crap. There isn't anything here that, again, relates to ADHD. He speaks Spanish, so that's like flexing, which is really, really cool. Okay, you speak Spanish in the chorus, but there's nothing here. He goes, I'm the realest homie that I know, in the chorus. And I'm like, you're not really that real, though. Like, you're not even staying true to the fucking theme of the album that you called that's supposed to be about you. This is just a bunch of shit of you just being famous and trying to validate yourself of how real you are, and it's not even that cool. It's my birthday, I'm about to get lit. Might blow a bag on a drip, make it all backward on a quick flip. I just need a cake and a thick bitch. It's like, dude, you know what? Like, you're just basically doing a fucking trap flow, and you've shitted on trap rappers before, and you've shitted on mumble rappers. Like, what? Bridge. I got a bitch on my sofa. I got a chip on my shoulder. You gotta live with your karma, and if you get hurt, then you got what you're supposed to. I got all hitters all over. Told them that it's all over. I take the drugs and I line them all up and get them all sober. That's like the only thing part of this song that I'm like, okay, that's cool. You want to make kids sober. Great. Everything else about this, I got a little check, then I cashed out. Credit card maxed out. I got lit, then I act out. I ain't want to do it, but I blacked out. Then they say I need to be safe. I think I need to be straight. Fix your vibes. That you need to be lace. You just need God. You just need God, or you need to meet Mace. I left my bitch. Maybe we just need space. I got runners like Chris, like Nisi, or Nietzsche. I got brothers like Tip, like Breezy. I got stunners like Wayne, like BG. I got a hood bitch, all about that bread. It's like, okay, so now you're telling us what you got, but I feel like now it's just like too late. Like, okay, you feel like you hit the lotto, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like this is just more validation. But now I'm also trying to question, what are you saying here about ADHD? So then we get the chorus. I say uno, dos, tres, cuatro, moreno, gringo, hombra, vato, gangsters, hustlers, killers, follow. I'm the realest homie I know. All right, cool. Like, it's nice to listen to sonically. It's interesting. But overall, I'm just like, okay. Verse 3. Why do I feel like Manson? Smoking y'all homies, I feel like I got cancer. Murder in streets, my anthem. All of you clowns is banter. Still can't pull your pants up. Kidnap kids like Amber. I like that line because he's referencing Amber Alert, and whenever kids get kidnapped, you get an Amber Alert. Hold a little homie for ransom. I moved up from the trap to the mansion. Went from the Uber to the Phantom. Again, more of this shit that you just keep saying what you've done and where you're at now, but I'm like, bro, what are we actually discussing here? What are we really doing here? To discuss about ADHD. Verse 4. Oh yeah, there's 4 verses on this song, and I'm just like, this is really annoying. Watch how I do what I demonstrate. I ain't gotta move, I renovate. I don't really pray, I meditate. I ain't gotta jump, I levitate. Yes, you literally just said you're praying to God on the last track. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't really pray. Like, this isn't like I understand the ADHD part of like making different decisions and being sporadic and always moving around and being confused, but it's like, guy, you're old enough to be able to control this, to be like, yo, this is how I'm dealing with my ADHD. Again, this is just I feel like this is just a bunch of fluff. You're not really getting into the core message you're trying to get out here, I feel, and I don't even know what you're trying to fucking say, to be honest, as a kid with ADHD. Always on time, I'm never late. I was outside like every day trying to turn water into lemonade. Now I'm booed up like LMA. I just want to get away. Like, okay, whatever, I'm done. This song is good. I gave it a 4 on 5. It's not really, like, it's digestible, yes, because it's good to listen to and it's fun, but overall it's not really the greatest thing. Like, it's okay, it's minimal. Anyway, there's still a whole bunch left. We're about to wrap up this video. The next track is the skit called Kevin. So I feel like Kevin Hart literally just said everything I had to say on a personal beef that he has with Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas just dropped his album talking about how he hit the lotto, and now Kevin Hart is calling him up saying, listen, Joyner, what's up? It's Kev. Heard the song Lotto you just dropped, and I'm going to tell you right now, man, I'm not too impressed. I'll tell you why I'm not impressed. Tell you why. Because you still owe me money from a year ago when your bitch ass crying about your Lamborghini getting repossessed. Until I came to rescue, had to be Captain Save-A-Ho, so you could maintain your little bitch ass fake ass lifestyle. Now it's a year later, I still don't have my money, and you're rapping about hitting the lottery. Tell me where the fuck they do that shit at. I don't know. You thinking because of 5'2", I can't box. I'm 5'4", I'll whoop your ass, swear to God, get your ass whooped by a munchkin. And he's just really being Kevin Hart, and he's really being funny. But I'm literally just sitting here going, what the fuck is the point of this? Like, I do not understand what the actual point of all of this is. I'm trying to understand that, and it's just not working. It's just not working. So, like, I get that he's contradicting himself because, yeah, he's kind of, like, lying to a bunch of people, but you're now admitting that you're lying to people about your lifestyle because, like, Kevin Hart had to save you. I don't really know where this is going. Is this, like, supposed to be a sequel to the fact that you, like, lied about a bunch of shit? Is now, like, the rest of the album all just a bunch of lies? Like, I'm not actually really sure what's going on here. Overall, that's really what I have to say about the skit. It's pretty much straightforward. Joyner Lucas owes Kevin Hart money. Kevin Hart will beat him up if Joyner Lucas doesn't give him the money. It's funny. It's comedic. It's what Kevin Hart does. It's great. I gave this another 4 on 5 because it is funny. But relevancy to the album, I have no fucking clue. With that, it has been an hour and 27 minutes. Thank you for staying with me. I know I've gone on a bunch of tangents, and I know I've gone down and been very critical, but seriously, can somebody explain to me where the fuck we are going with this project? Anyway, I still got part 2 to record. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with me. I'm going to wrap it up here now. It's been tracks 1 to 9. Thank you so much for everything you guys do and staying with me in the comments below and having a conversation with this. Please let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything or if you can decipher anything that Joyner Lucas has said to make some type of credibility to how this is part of ADHD, to how this is part of anything relatable to the theme or the core theme of the project. Let me know what songs you like so far. Let me know anything. If you want to say I suck or I look stupid, go right ahead, but at least give me a positive comment on how I can be better or look less stupid or silly. I do want to say thank you so much to the Patreons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricanes, Linda Williams, and Scribble. I think I missed somebody. And Jonathan Barnes. Greatly appreciate everything you guys do for us. They follow us on Patreon. They are able to turn our hands and force us into certain reviews that they might want to see or whatnot. So they do have that ability to do that. Other than that, I'm going to go get a head start on reviewing part 2. And you will be getting that review either Saturday evening or Sunday at one point by the time I'm recording this. Whenever you see this, I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know again how you guys are dealing with quarantine and self-isolation. This has been a really long part 1 review. I am now tired, as you can see. It's getting dark here. It's late at night. This has been Headspace Podcast Review, episode 162, part 1. Joyner Lucas's album ADHD, tracks 1 to 9. Thank you once again for staying with me, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.